Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no doubt in my mind.
Honestly, what you're describing there, I'd like to see it. So yeah, if that's how it's gonna be, bring it on.
Okay, so let's head here into the game. Felt down one game. But we'll see how it's gonna go here in game number 2. We have here Steel Borka already with the smoke looking to block the small camp. And Solji just looking to stay in vision to make sure that his own camp doesn't get blocked.
A lot of annoyance in the works here for Kits, who is going to be pushed in by that Ember Spirit with his Flame Guard. And then find that if he clears that wave, he can't even go to the side camp.
30 seconds.
Which is really all mid laners want to do these days. They don't even want to be in that lane, man.
Yeah. I wonder if there is a possibility here for the TA plus Grimstroke to pressure early on this Timbersaw out of lane. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on this Timbersaw that if he doesn't get off to a good start in the first 2 or 3 waves, he can fall very far behind you.
He could, yes. And sometimes in this matchup, you actually see the TAs meld inside the lane and wait to get that first big hit off, or sometimes a double hit before the Timbersaw has anything to protect himself with. Not this time. Scourge McDuck just going to block. Looking at this warding situation here on the mid lane, it's absolutely incredible that nobody has spotted each other's wards here. But Kits placed his from Fog, and the sentry does not know that there's another ward on the cliff on the side either.
And Scourge McDuck has a beautiful block here right in front of his tower, pretty much exactly where you want it. And already the melt minus armor onto the Timbersaw. He's not gonna have a fun time.
He's not. At the very least, if he ever gets convincingly gone on, the Rubik is going to take most of the edge of the TA's right clicks off. But that does mean that Wake Me Up needs to sit on that Fate Bolt and save it for the trading. Unless, of course, Endura is going to play with him on the side here. Zor would happily take a 1v1. Especially since he wants the experience so badly.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about again, where do you think first blood gonna be happening?
Ooh, first blood, bot lane. This Ogre Magi is a hard kill, but he's gonna go down.
Gonna go down?
Yeah.
You don't believe Steel Borko can survive this lane?
Without a couple of dents in him.
I'm gonna say SMD is gonna die top.
Okay. That's a bold claim. Hardy gonna take the refraction off once he's got it.
I'm here to provide guesses, not to provide solutions.
Well said. Well said. I mean, you were right the previous time, so honestly, I should just be respecting your opinion here.
Exactly. Meanwhile, actually, in the mid lane, Kits versus Solji. Kits is 11-4 to the 7-1 of Solji, having an absolutely outstanding start here on the Storm Spirit.
Staying up in the face of that Ember Spirit does a lot of work, but I don't think he can actually end up kicking him out. You just don't have the mana to spam that hard.
The waiting on that first blood here. This AM, AM's all about what is gonna be your battle fury timing, what's gonna be your timing for your items afterwards. How much do you think he can get out of this lane, and when does he need to leave?
Really depends on if his Ogre McGee can stay alive for a little bit here. He is in a very risky position right now, in fact.
Yeah, it's gonna get gone on. The cookie gonna be there as well, but no mana for the spear. And Steel Borko will survive.
And I think Comfort can basically straight rush here. Because the Ogre can tank a lot for him, but if the lane actually starts snowballing, it will be over very quickly, because as soon as Steel Borko can't serve as a shield anymore, the AM can't actually take all this harass.
At the same time, he also started with an Orb of Venom at level 1 and the full maxed out magic wand. So looking to at least engage a little bit in the brawl.
Yeah, this is definitely a very spell heavy lane, so you get a lot of value out of the magic wand.
Mm-hmm. And up top, Zor and Scourge McDuck just both getting their farm, getting their experience, and wake me up. Never mind, bottom is where first blood is going to be happening. DNM finds a kill on Comfort there.
He was half health. I blinked and he's gone.
Cookie into Spear.
The classic.
And now Steel Borko might also be in trouble here. That's going to be a stun coming out. The Cookie onto him, into the Spear. And that's a second kill for Giant plus DNM. They picked this lane first phase.
Mm-hmm. And here we see the strength. Comfort, as long as he can keep the mana levels low here, he's got himself a fairly good time, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Soul Ring delivered right now. Which ends a lot of the fun for Anti-Mage. Now with 2 kills on the board, I am scared for them.
Yeah, and I mean, DNM has an absolutely fantastic start, and he's most likely looking to go into the ultimate. Blink away from the Cookie, will survive on Comfort. As this bottom lane looking very much in favor of the cut, and I just like, I know we already mentioned it, but this is the lane that they revealed first. Usually the lane that in your draft you reveal first. You are hoping to like draw even, potentially like only lose a little bit, but DNM plus Giant making a fantastic job so far. They're gonna go on the Snapfire here. Giant gonna go down first. DNM does have the mana for another Spear here, but it's gonna get gone on for just gonna be another Spear there, and a few more love taps. It's gonna get the Kryptonite on Steel Borko. That's nice. That's good for him.
Hellbear Smasher hits hard, man.
Yep. Yep.
A lane more or less salvaged for Comfort here. I think it was a little bit of a mistake for the Snapfire to get the clarity back up when they were not ready to go again immediately. That just gave a whole lot of damage to Comfort again here.
My thanks.
Now, meanwhile, in the mid lane, Kids going on to Solji. Just a little bit of harass there, but this Ember Spirit is being harassed quite a bit by the Storm Spirit, who is having a better time. And now the TP towards top. They're looking to go on to Zor here. There's going to be the Inkswell straight onto the Timberstar, but couldn't get the Electric Vortex out. It was still on cooldown, now the Electric Vortex, but the Inkswell not hitting there means Zor will survive.
Excellent for the Radiant side, and yeah, that was very unfortunate. Now, DNM, man, wins on both sides of the map for different teams here on their respective off lanes.
Yeah, the off lanes are feeling well, are feeling good.
Yep, and this also feels good for Solji, right? I don't think he should get clapped as hard as an Ember Spirit in the mid lane. I really don't think that this is supposed to happen versus the Storm, but the fact that the first rotation misses here opens up at least 2 uncontested waves for Solji, and there's a whole lot of time wasted for Kids who's just zipping back into the fountain.
There is little hope for Dire's middle tower.
And it was from his like try to go onto the Ember Spirit, just putting on some harass onto the Ember, that he didn't have the Electric Vortex, which meant that the Inkswell missed, and Zor was able to survive. Now he has hit level 6, 3 points in the Timber Chains, 2 in the Reactive Armor, plus the Chakram, and suddenly it's gonna be hard staying in lane, even for the TA. Gonna take off the Refraction Charges, and there's gonna be another Timber Chain through with the Fate Bolt. That's gonna be the lift up, and another Timber Chain. Scourge McDuck has the meld, but meld yourself another life there, what I'd say, as he's gonna go down. Meanwhile, bottom, they're gonna go on the Ogre. Ogre gonna down, the ENM is gonna be dominating, but Comfort takes a return kill on the Snapfire.
But good of a scenario for Comfort as can be imagined here, but he is going to run into another hurdle once DNM gets his actual armlet up. Wonder if he's going to fully build that though, or if he wants to go for Blink Dagger earlier. I favor the armlet here. I think Mars could do with a little bit more damage, especially because he's not going to get much damage out from the rest of his team.
Yeah. And it is now going to be like, how long can Comfort stay here relatively safely and still farm where it is efficient. He does have a ward for himself, but there's gonna be the cookie. Just some harass there from Giant, but the minus armor, man. Meanwhile, up top, Zor once again going on to SMD. And Timber Chain through, and now even Solji has arrived. They're going on to Scourge McDuck. Doesn't have refraction charges anymore, and that is going to be another kill on the TA. But, oh,
and now DNM. Arena into Spear, my goodness.
Oh, that's just the Spear, not even the cookie into the Spear. Huh.
All these bits of just harassment from Giant certainly adding up, especially now that the anti-mage can't actually walk up to her anymore and take the mana away. You start to get into real trouble, and yeah, this means with the phase boots up, he can go straight into the Blink Dagger on DNM. He's going to have it so fast. And I got to say, if you get the Blink Dagger at this timing, the Storm Spirit is going to be so happy with you.
Yeah. At the same time though, Radiant was already able to take this top tier 1 tower. Bottom still at full health. That is one thing that this Mars Snapfire... I guess Snapfire does have some tower damage with Little Shredder, but focus more on heroes right now and not on the buildings. Haven't really been able to take any towers yet.
Yep, and this Timbersaw has himself a game right now, right? He's got a hood, he's got Soul Ring Arcane. He can now stand in this bottom lane and be an absolute nuisance, and there's no way they have the damage for him.
And this right now, this feels like a laning stage for Felt that feels good for them, especially Solji being able to get involved in kills while Kids was not. They are going to try to go onto Zor right now. There's going to be the silence coming out from the Grimstroke, and he is going to go down. If they bring 4 heroes, he can still die, but it is a pretty heavy commitment.
Yep, especially with the Ember Spirit knocking on your mid tower, but I like this recognition. They know they need to break that bottom tower if they want to have any space to breathe on the map, and that means bring in the numbers. Also guarantees DNM his Blink Dagger.
And Steel Borka is just gonna be tanking here for the catapult, so the mid tower taking heavy amounts of damage and might even go down. I guess no, they're gonna give this up now. There's gonna be a root coming out and the lift. Soulbind here from Endurance. Kid's gonna jump in into the cookie straight onto the Ember. Ember already dead. And now looking for more Kids. Another jump here. Steel Borko. He is gonna get the Bloodlust out for the tower. 2 heroes here. That's gonna be a jump forward from Zor. But Kid's just gonna go over the cliff. Oh, there's the spear stolen now for Rubik though. That's a big steal. That is a very big steal for him.
That is a lot of damage, but well, he's going to get an opportunity to use it.
That's going to be the haste, and Grimstroke is so good against the Timbersaw with that Phantom's Embrace. Just hurl the wife at him.
Yeah, and he has to deal with her, make it stop. He does not attack fast.
And now looking for the Solji again. Dodges the spear. If that spear connects, he might have just died, and that would have been an absolute disaster for him.
Yeah, that would have slammed the door basically on the transition stage here. Ooh, Kids did not expect that much damage. No, sir. But I really like how these 2 cores are playing together. Sometimes you see when 2 cores both have a good start, they will sort of do their own thing. And here's like very much DNM is like, hey, bro, I bought you a Blink Dagger. And Kids is excellent, bro. Let's do this.
We do have a smoke here from Feld into the enemy triangle. They see Kids here, the spear connects! And that's a dead Storm Spirit.
Excellent. Very sneaky. The
Yes,
Ember
at
though.
the same time, they're gonna finding the Ember here. There's gonna be the spear, but do they have the damage to bring him down? Soulbind going to be there. One more from the arena. The tap is going to be enough. Yes. That was just enough damage. As at the same time in the mid lane. Oh wait, where did the Ogre die? Yeah, it was in the mid lane. Giant finds the kill onto the Ogre with another Mortimer Kisses. Both mid laners going
Throw
down.
spirits back, dude. They're not done.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, and they still need this bottom tower, right? They know that with the 2 cores, they have enough damage to take down Zora as long as he doesn't have too much reactive armor up. And it's... they just need to get a good catch first. And there's also something else, and you can see it a little bit in the dire jungle right now here, is that Storm and TA would both like to farm in roughly the same place. Unfortunately for them, only one of them can be the king of the jungle. So
Or they
Storm
could
is very
fight
much
over
lower.
last hit.
They could. This is an A.
Hey, there's gonna be the spear onto the Timber Saw once again into the Silence, and now the Electric Vortex into the Cookie, and that's another kill onto the Timber Saw. Now 3 deaths for him in relatively short succession. Oh, spear forward here onto the Rubik, actually connects. And do they have any follow-up? There's gonna be
Nice
the White
lift.
coming out from the Grimstroke, but with the lift, Wake Me Up is gonna be fine. And they aren't able to take these towers. They cut, not able to take bottom or mid tower at all.
Not yet, at least, but if the Timbersaw keeps on throwing himself in front like that, he's not going to have any item progression, and at some point he's going to break. He is still doing decently, though. I think if he gets his plate mail up here for the Lotus Orb, I really like this build-up, by the way. I think it's great for this game, especially with the Storm moving into an Orchid. The armor versus the minus armor of the TA, it's going to feel really great, but he's got to get there.
And we're gonna have a smoke here from Wake Me Up and Sword, just gonna be a dewarding mission. And both teams putting a lot of emphasis of having at least one hero around this mid tower at all times.
DNM right now almost looks spoiled for choice. Which one of the cores should he meet up with? He is looking at mid again.
Gonna be a catapult wave here. It's already nearly dead. It's going to fall right now. And sorry, deny it. As at the same time, mid Solji is gonna show himself the arena connect, and the spear is going to be there. It's another kill onto the Ember. And now at the same time, Zord gonna get jumped on by the Cookie Kids with the follow-up Electric Vortex and the spear. Just beautiful layering. We see those layers usually in cooking shows, in bakes, but we see it right here as well.
That is one hell of a tasty lasagna. Yeah, beautiful fast TP from DNM there. They made a kill on bottom. They know that most likely Felt is going to immediately respond by going on mid. And as a result, get kills on both lanes and the bottom tower, since nobody was there to TP onto Scourge McDuck. Win, win, win.
Yeah, and they took the two heroes down that are like the tempo control for Radiant right now, the Ember and the Timbersaw. Those are the 2 heroes that want to make plays right now, and both of them died. And the cut might be losing their mid tower pretty soon. It is in deny range now.
They want to, honestly, with this much of an advantage, they can actually park a hero here, and DNM does not have to run around anymore. He can farm his BKB. They have space in the jungle for both the Storm and the TA now. But they'd really rather want this mid tower first too. I like it.
Yeah. And now with the Deso plus Dragonlance for the TA plus the minus armor from the little Shredder, they now can take buildings very quickly.
And this mid tower is also very important because, of course, the TA wants to take Roshan. And
oh, that's gonna be a jump forward. The arena finds the Rubik. Where's gonna be the follow-up damage? There's gonna be the God's Rebuke. And Kid's even looking for Zor here, but Zor has the Hood of Defiance plus the Plate Mill, very tanky. Silence coming out here onto the Ember. He's gonna be bound, but not enough damage. They lose DNM and the Grimstroke, and Scourge McNutt trying to get away, but not gonna be able to do so, as Mortimer Kiss is gonna be flown across the cubes. I've actually
Wake
never
me
seen
up.
that one, but
No?
fantastic there for the Radiant to take a quick look what happened in that fight.
Dyer's middle tower
And so break it down for me here, Kips. What went right here for Felt?
What went right here for Feld? Honestly, the fact that the Rubik buys back and comes back in here turns most of the fight. Because that supplies the damage for... Look at this big grouping of dire heroes here. If they can hold that position, it's maybe okay. But here comes the steal.
Yeah.
And here comes the devastation. And they jumped in so far onto that timber saw. I really don't think that they had that quite thought out. Because if you don't kill him immediately, that reactive armor is going to come up and is starting to count.
on the hunt for radiant forces.
And they find the Rubik here. That is going to be a dieback. Not the biggest of deals, of course, since he is a support, but still, he's going to be on the sidelines for a whole minute. Time to re-evaluate his life and then come back with a new one.
If Wake Me Up looks back on this series, I think his life looks pretty good.
Yeah, as now Scourge McDuck is going to go into the Roshan pit. You mentioned they want to take Roche. They took the tier 1 tower and now looking to do Roche. Steel Borko, though, in the area is going to get found, put a ward down, but it's going to pay for it with his life. The spear going to be there. Is this ward going to be found by the Dire, though? I don't think so. I don't think they saw it being put down. Roche, meanwhile, already at 30% HP. Zor now putting down the Chakram and the spear away. Sword coming through, but a little bit too early there, and ace in the hand of the TA. Zor has a loaded sword, but not nearly enough to survive that.
Very neat arena placement from DNM there as well. Really locks the Timbersaw into position, makes sure that the Aegis drops in a place where nobody on the Radiant can even think of touching it.
All of this is happening though, and the anti-mage is farming. He is at nearly 13,000 net worth, #1 in the game, has the Battle Fury Manta style. Now looking for an AC, a little bit of an unorthodox choice.
Yeah, but completely the correct one in this case. You're going to be facing up versus this TA where most of your damage output comes from putting you in the negatives. With an AC, you protect your entire team against that. And it's going to make your split push bite that much harder. I really enjoy this item choice for comfort here.
Uh-oh. This is going to be Steel Borko gonna go down again. And one more God's Rebuke, and DNM finds the kill. 11-1. DNM is having one heck of a game. Has now the BKB finished.
Feels really good to be DNM right now, but at the same time, the entire game is also still sorta on his shoulders. He is the only one that's really going to be making the plays here. Both of his other cores really like to jump in second, or ideally third, you know? So he will always have to make the first move, and now there's a big bounty on his head if he makes the wrong move.
That is true, that is true. Now we're gonna find here another arena going on to Zor here. Do they have the damage to bring him down? That's gonna be the silence coming out from the Grimstroke. And the sound's coming back, and Comfort actually jumping in and taking down Grimstroke, but the Electric Vortex onto the Anti-Mage, into the Spear, connecting in the Roshan pit. Do they have the damage to bring him down? Comfort gets the blink away. Jump forward by Kids once again here. He's found, and that's a big, big kill here on the Anti-Mage. Sword jumping in, but you don't have the damage to bring down the Storm Spirit, and he's gonna die as well. Disaster!
Brave, but stupid.
That was very chaotic. A really beautiful chaining from the cut once again there, though.
Yeah. Oh, this looked good until the AM got caught.
Yep, and I also think that spending your Void early on means that the Storm Spirit is pretty free to do whatever he wants afterwards. He has got nothing to be afraid of anymore. He's got such a big mana pool, your illusions are not going to take off nearly enough mana for him to be able to actually stop him off. So he did free up Kits by opening the fight like that. Kits looking free as a bird.
Oh, yeah, that is very free. Right there. It really...
Radiant's top tower is
it really feels also for the Timbersaw, the game is... Like, I understand why the Anti-Mage jumped there and went onto the Grimstroke, because if Grimstroke is just allowed to put that Phantom's Embrace on the Timbersaw time and again, he is not allowed to have any impact in that game. At the same time, bottom, they find in the Ember Spirit, there's gonna be the Spear, there's gonna be the Sleight of Fist, but not enough. Last right click there from Kids makes him dominating.
They're going for bad to worse for Felt right now. I really want to see this AC on the Anti-Mage finish, and maybe then they can pull a team fight together. They have some items on their other cores. They have the Lotus Orb ready onto Zor, which should be able to help protect, for example, the Ember Spirit. And then the Ember Spirit also has himself the Yules. And a little bit of damage from that Maelstrom. They have tools to fight here. Especially if the TA is a non-factor and the AC is up, but... Right now they're just getting picked off on all sides of the map, it feels like.
They're gonna go for a smoke before the AC is finished. Comfort gonna be a part of it. And he has a DD. So might be looking to make use of that. Looking to wrap around this. If they find Endure first, that would be massive. He's gonna get away, not caught by the Chakram. And now this is not looking like a good engagement anymore. Comfort still looking for Giant here. And there's gonna be the Soulbind coming out and the Silence onto him, but not enough. And Endure is still gonna get gone on by Zor now, as there is no more Phantom's Embrace. Finds the stun onto the Timbersaw. Kid's still there. Now at the meantime, they find the arena, they're finding the Rubik, and they're finding Solji. Solji has the Yule Scepter and is not gonna get away, as Mortimer Kisses are going to be there. Comfort just not able to find anybody really. Looking now for Scourge McDuck, who doesn't have an Aegis anymore. They're gonna find the Snapfire, and Comfort now finally able to hit onto heroes. DNM is going to die with the Mana Void. And a big kill there, and Scourge McDuck, he's gonna find him!
I mean,
in the
you're
end!
correct in thinking that they... Yeah, like they don't have cancels for your TP, okay, but you also don't have HP.
Yeah. That was... in the end, that turned out really well for Felta, and Comfort now with the AC finish, looking to go at the tower.
What was that? Hey, that should really not have ended as well for Felt as it did. It really shouldn't.
Such a disjointed fight. Such a disjointed fight.
I mean, the fact that it's disjointed is good for the cut, right? Because they have the better chase. And the fact that this Anti-Mage and this Timbersaw are sort of running around like headless chickens trying to hit anybody who steps in front of their face and failing for the most part, it's great. That's the purpose of the way that the cut splits the fight up right there. But the fact that they don't get a clean disengage after, in fact the opposite of a clean disengage after, is brutal.
Very much so. Very much so. Yes, now Radiant's still in the dire jungle here. They're gonna see him under the ward vision, and they find the chains onto the support, and also Endure gonna be found here. Has a Shadow Amulet though. That's gonna be an arena coming out, and Comfort just gonna take down the Crimson. The spear stolen there by the Rubik, and so far only both sides support dying. And Radiant is going to be forced to back off. Scourge McDuck is still very scary. If he's allowed to hit onto the Anti-Mage, he can deal a lot of damage. But the spear, ooh, nearly connects onto the tree. Comfort now jumping up there. There's still a refraction charge.
Notice from TP downs.
And DNM is still going to be there. The spear does not connect. Zor now is going to join back in, and the BKB from DNM just going to try to get out. Scourge finds the melt, but he is under the tower, and they know he's there. He doesn't have his BKB anymore. Another melt and a refraction looking to fight back, but he just dies.
How the full vision like that? He thought the fight was over when they were barely half a screen away.
Friend! Hello, friend!
And once again, that stolen spear of the Rubik. It is making so many things possible. DNM has a Shadow Blade. Tried to go for the Invis spear there, but it's gonna pay for it with his life. That's gonna be the spear once again by the Rubik. They're trying to fight back. His Soulbind coming out, and Kids with his BKB trying to fight back, but they don't have their main damage dealer.
Don't. And Kids is trying to desperately make up for that earlier TP out, but really all he can do is clear the wave now.
Yeah.
There's a catapult, that feels so bad. He can't do anything about that.
And Zor just tanks it for the catapult. That...
Welp. This is Dota again.
5,000 now ahead for the anti-mage ahead of the TA. And he's gonna have a BKB pretty much finished. What? So... The cut fought 4v5 and not really gonna have time to break it down all that much. Radiant is gonna go into the Roshan pit and Dire wants to contest this. They don't have the Mars though. It's gonna be 4v5 again. He is gonna have a TP, they're gonna take the outpost. But there's gonna be the Age is gonna be picked up by Comfort a little bit late there, but Kid already jumped in there, has a BKB, and everybody just gonna get out. They're looking for Zor, they're gonna find the Electric Vortex, into the Cookie Stun, into the Silence from the Grimstroke, but the Spear, once again, they find the kill onto the Timbersaw, but the Spear from Rubik not enough to lock down the Storm Spirit. Now the Mortimer kisses over the top here, they're gonna find the Rubik, and they're gonna find the animation. No, he gets to blink out. And it is still a good engagement here for the cut, the TP away from Comfort. He has the Aegis though.
And that's big. That's actually going to allow him to siege base another time. So in spite of that being decent for the cut, they don't actually get what they came for there, which is at the very least the Aegis out of the hand of the anti-mage.
Who took the shard? I think it was Ember Spirit, I don't think Ember Spirit.
Yeah, it was the Ember.
He has it now.
That's not the best shard on the team. Honestly, I think it should go to the Ogre Magi. It is so good versus the big first meld hits of the TA. Really messes up the way that she wants to play the fights when there's just fire shields all around and she can't easily take somebody out of the fight with those first two big hits.
Yeah, you said it was 75 or 80%. It's 85%.
It's 85. I remember the 5 and I remember the 8. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And it damages back too, so that means for the TA, if she doesn't have the BEB activated, she's also going to lose refraction at the same time.
Yep.
It is wild good against her.
So we have here another pulse, though this game so far being very, very close though. The anti-mage now with the Aegis, #1 in net worth by quite a bit. And how do you feel about this game state now with the draft that Feld has? Are they still on a timer? Are they or are they? Can they take it a little bit slower? How's their like timing here?
I think at this point they're starting to get a little bit nervous. Like they were too comfortable taking the fight in their own jungle where Kids TP'd away. And now they're actually at the kind of disadvantage where they really shouldn't be at this point in the game. They should have had this Aegis. If they had this Aegis, the entire game is different. You have either Scourge McDuck with that Aegis working towards the enemy high ground, or you have a Storm Spirit with an Aegis sitting behind him, and able to go for whichever one of the supports you want. But now, their big engagement tool is DNM here. You only have one arena, and not really any way of dealing with the anti-mage really after that.
DNM has that Shadow Blade. He's looking for a setup to use the spear on it. And we'll see if he's going to be able to find something. So it's having some connectivity issues here. And right now, if the cut takes a fight bottom here, there are only 3 heroes there for the Radiant. Rubik is very far away. And Timbersaw even further. He's dead.
6 feet under, that's a long way down. At least if you have to dig.
The anti-mage also found an elven tunic. That's very nice for him. She already has a little bit of evasion against that TA.
Hmm. She does have the Mindbreaker though. That is
Mhm.
also very nice indeed in this game.
Mhm.
Silence onto the Timber or the Ember immediately means that they have to use their defensive items.
So for the Snapfire, she has a Solar Crest finish. So we have even more minus armor, or just like additional attack speed for the TA if you want to put it like that. And the armor there. And we have the Go Call. It's now going to be the question, is the cut going to be engaging onto this bottom tower? Gonna group up together. And they're gonna see still Borko, but he is gonna be under a sentry. Gonna put down the ward as well. Comfort just going in, going straight for Endure, but Endure has the invis, and now the silence coming to come. Oh no, he still has Aegis, remember? That's gonna be Aegis down though. And now the cut will want to disengage. It took Aegis, and if they can get away with that, that would be fine. It's gonna be... Oh, the enemy showed himself! Has a BKB though. You're gonna lose another tier 2.
Yep.
But no more Aegis.
No more Aegis, but Felt took a risk there, very calculated, saying, alright, we are going to give our Aegis away here in hopes that they need to overcommit for it. So then when our backup comes in, we can actually punish them hard enough to be able to go high ground. This has not quite happened, but at the very least there are now no BKBs up over on the side of the cut, except for on the Storm Spirit.
Yep. And now they're gonna be heading onto those Raxes. As Sword just being a little bit of a disturbance there. And there's gonna be an arena coming out, connecting with the Sphere here. They're gonna go on the Anti-Mage together with the Soulbind. Everything's blown at Comfort here. And that is gonna get him out of Comfort as he is going to die. He's gonna get a ranged Rax for it. Everybody else just trying to TP out. But Ember! The Spear connected onto him. They find all 3 cores.
Beautiful defense from the cut there. Once again, the way that they layer their stuns is dang near perfect. And this is the risk that you take when you grab that, well, when you let that Aegis go outside of the base and you don't actually get enough kills out of it. I think they had a bit of a sunk cost fallacy thing going on there, where they were like, well, we spent the Aegis already to be able to go high ground. Surely since we spent the Aegis, we must now go high ground.
Yep.
The Bulwark Rubik. Bonk. Bonk.
Now the jump here from Kid finds the kill actually onto the Rubik. And now also looking, so it's gonna be a full team wipe. Like finding the supports on the other side.
And this was exactly what the cut needed to come back into the game. At the very least, they have now even backed the board back up. They want to get that next Aegis. I'd liked it to be the previous one, but beggars, choosers, they're fine with this scenario. They've retaken their grip on the game.
And now looking to place some traps in the bottom lane. With the 5,000 net worth lead now for the cut. They took a range Rax, but a range Rax means very, very little. It's all about that melee Rax. And Comfort dying there, it pretty much cut his lead over the TA in half.
Yep. I mean, this is an anti-mage game, right? You gotta imagine that the loss of the tower on the lane is the most important one, because that means that if you lose control of the lane, the anti-mage is going to be in your base taking your buildings. So there is a reason why Scourge makes sure to leave a lot of traps on that bottom lane before actually leaving himself. Because he needs to keep that wave under control. The anti-mage is not allowed anywhere near the base right now. It's so fragile.
Now, are we going to be waiting for another Roche here, or who's going to be making the next move? As say that as Radiant is going to be smoking up S4 here. But Dire, they're already ready in their own triangle, holding that high ground. Scourge, McDuck, and Kids leading the front line.
They bought out for this Ags. Solji has it in his
that's
pocket.
gonna be the jump. They're finding the Ogre. Ogre, Magi, Steel, Borko is gonna go down. Once again, only Bulwark stolen. At the same time, Comfort is in the back as he already used his BKB. Oh no! Oh, and now Zor is going in. They're going in one by one by one. You don't fight like that. Oh.
You don't. Oh, you really, really don't. Especially not versus a TA who loves it when she gets her snacks handed to her one by one. Oh, that was painful. And such a misunderstanding of the reality of the fight there. Because they're creating this fight because they have Axe on Solji, right? They want to get going with his Ember Spirit, but he can't find an angle on this game. And Anti-Mage has already decided if we don't win this fight, we lose the game. Timbersaw wasn't sure. And Ember's like, no, I can't find an angle, we're not doing this. The Anti-Mage goes in, Timber splits off from the Ember to follow the AM, is late to both the retreating and the attacking party. And we get this scenario where the buildings start tumbling.
It's one set of racks. It's even gonna be two unless the AM and Timbersaw buy back. It's just taking down too fast. And you don't want to buy back on your anti-mage. You just don't. It's now a little shredder coming in. And the jump forward here from Kids. They're gonna go on the Ember Spirit. They're finding the layering is just too good. Comfort now bought back. But it is still a 5v4 fight and they don't get anything out of this. They lose their melee racks, they lose their mid racks, they lose the buyback of the anti-mage. This is just a triple loss here.
It is, and that sets him back quite a bit on the Bastion, which is really the only way that he was going to win the man fight versus the TA at this point. The wheels are coming off for Feld right now. This is very painful to watch.
Yeah. And suddenly they're at an 18,000 net worth disadvantage. Ooh. We have also a Silver Edge now for the Mars. So if Timbersaw ever gets caught with his pants down.
Oh yeah, as he has several times already. And this is actually also decent versus the anti-mage. You kill off a bunch of his damage output.
As well as just his magic resistance. I mean, it's a lot of magic. He actually never maxed out the counter spell.
Oh. Interesting. I mean, he's up versus very much a physical damage draft, right? I can see why he wouldn't.
Though, like, counter spell being on a 3-second cooldown instead of 7? That's gonna be the jump forward here onto Steel Borko. That's gonna be a dead ogre. But Wake Me Up got the spear.
Wake Me Up is just playing his own game, man.
His game
Every
is, can
time.
I get spear again? Can I get spear?
Yes, excellent. I win. Are you gonna argue with him? I think he wins.
I think so. As now...
Arcane for Kids.
That is going to be an Agnum's Blessing here as well for the Dire side. Who's gonna take that? Oh, they're giving it to Endure. Please! No, they're giving it to Kids. Endure for Kids. Come on, Endure, just take it. You just stand in. They can't fire you. They can't fire you. Oh, he gets it! He gets it! Yes! Yes! It's I wanted to see the Dark Portrait. We also, he has a full Hex finished himself. He is very farmed.
This is the end of Anti-Mage. Absolutely brutal.
They have now two
Double
hexes,
hex.
one on the Storm and one on the Grimstroke.
And this game just is an illustration to me in how you can react differently to misplays, right? Because the mistakes that led the cut to lose some of their base buildings were pretty egregious. Like, the Storm TPing out there when there was basically still a fight at the ready was quite bad, but they retake, they refocus, they regroup, and Felt just haven't been able to do the same after they don't get enough kills out of the Aegis bait. That's several minutes ago, and they're still not quite back in control of themselves.
Yep. And that is going to be a tier 2 up top. Dire, they want to get the Megas.
I've been wanting this.
And they want to close this out 2-0. Is this going to be the first series for Feld where it's actually going to be a 2-0?
I think so.
It might be looking like it.
Very
The
annoying
range on
stun
the
here.
TA is so much. It's
Oh
gonna-
yeah, but the range on this Rubik Spear with the shard upgrade.
Ooh. They're looking for a little bit of a wrap around here with the Burko. But they're not falling for it. They have Scourge McDuck in the front. He has Aegis. They're like, go on him. Don't you want to go on him?
It's tasty.
And the answer is no, they don't want to go on him. As now there's gonna be the jump in from DNM going on to the Timbersaw, but the save gonna be there from Wake Me Up. They're still gonna throw everything onto Zor. Zor is going to die. Has a buyback available, as at the same time Comfort jumps into the backlands with his BKB, gonna get out. But that's BKB used. And they have not gotten anything out of that. Now Ember re-engages. The spear connects onto him! Into the silence! What a spear there! And now jumping onto the Rubik, he saves himself a little while longer. Snapfire gonna buy back here as well. And they found the anti-mage. He's gonna be stunned up. Do they have the further lockdown? He's gonna be silenced up. Another silence onto him. Do they have the damage to bring him down? Comfort is not allowed to hit anybody right now. Scourge is gonna have to use his Aegis, but that is just an Aegis. As at the same time, the Dark Portrait Illusion is going to work. Endure going to push his damage numbers up. The Ember nearly just dying to that Dark Portrait. And the... Wait, what? DNM just found the kill onto Comfort and GG's are called. Okay, DNM was out of its mind.
This game, this was a DNM highlight reel.